Yeah, a couple, well, it's only been 2 sessions I've done, really.
Yeah.
The first session was just to explain everything,
Yeah.
chew the fat, the second and third.
But you were in pain for a couple days after?
This last one, I'm still struggling a little bit,
Yeah.
which is odd because
Yeah.
it didn't hurt when she did.
But that's the thing, right? All right, so knees and feet at hip distance apart, hands on the pelvis.
And then
and
the
we're
shoes
just-
on, or you want them off?
I want your shoes off, yeah, you should bring those outside next time.
Okay.
It's like a dojo, right? Like a martial arts to be able to shoot you outside. It's respectful. I'm not, as you know, sensitive. but
Yes, I know,
some
you're
people
not, you're
are.
awesome.
Thanks.
Very forgiving too.
Feet are as wide as the hips, good, and then hands on the pelvis, and then you're gonna imprint your low back, and then you're gonna arch your low back, good. So we're gonna imprint our low back, and we're gonna arch our low back, and just rocking out back and forth.
How aggressive do you want this to be?
Like, I don't want pain, but I want as much movement as you can get, and I want you to breathe with it. So you're gonna exhale, push the low back into the floor, inhale, rock it out. Exhale, push the low back into the floor, inhale, rock it out. Good, and just back and forth, good. And then we're gonna find that kind of neutral pelvis, pubic bone, hip bones level. We're gonna bring our knees together, our feet together. We're just gonna open and close our knees without our feet moving. So for me, no matter what you do, right? Like if you do anything other than what I'm giving you, I don't mind, that's up to you.
Okay.
But breathe first. Right? Because you're doing less exercises like this. You breathe, you're doing exercises like this, right? What do you think when you're comfortable, right?
Well, I noticed that from the first time or two we got together, I was really tight, but
Yeah.
the breathing has helped a lot.
It's your number one ingredient for getting rid of pain. Now take your knees wide, but keep your feet down. So you feel your big toe bones are lifting, good. You got them down. Now hands on the belly, and I just want you to breathe. No talking. I'm gonna talk. You're not gonna talk. Inhale, belly lifting and expanding. Exhale, belly sinking, shrinking, contracting. Inhale, belly lifting and expanding. Exhale, belly sinking, shrinking, contracting. Good. I'm just looking for those nice, big, beautiful breaths. And then just use your mind to really slow down and smooth out your breath. Maybe you need 10 more breaths just like that. Good. When those 10 breaths are complete, we're going to bring the knees together, walk the feet apart. Good. So knees and feet are hips distance apart. You're going to keep the soles of the feet on the floor, so feet a little wider. Now I want you to rock your knees, hands on the ribs don't move. Without your feet lifting, let your knees come to the left. Right? So ribs don't move, feet don't move. Keep your feet down. See how the pelvis lifts just a little bit? And then knees back to center, and then rock the pelvis the other way. So your ribs stay down, your feet stay down, and you just go from
I have to go
side
as far as
to
I
side.
can before my feet lift.
Exactly, the head down if you can. So that's just putting a boundary on the low back. Again, this is just a warm up, a wake up, as you're going to go side to side, feet stay down, pelvis lifting. Ribs stay down, pelvis lifting. And so we're just rocking out that low back, exactly like you're doing. Now the next time we come to the right, we're going to go to the right. Now press her backwards
I
down. I
want
want
to
you
do
to
that,
push
I
your
don't know
feet
whether or
down.
not I can go too far.
No, but I don't need you to go far. I want your feet down, right? So feet stay down just like in the previous pose. Think of the previous pose as a warm-up. It's not about going far, it's about putting a boundary on your back, right? Now I want you to keep your feet down, keep your ribs down, you can get a neutral neck so your nose is pointing straight up towards the sky. There you go. So, I want you to just imagine that your legs are sails, your pelvis is a sail. Now the wind's going to come behind your sail and it's going to push your legs and your pelvis to the right, but your feet and your ribs are anchoring down. So just move from the back of your legs and move your legs to the right, but keep perfect. Just like that, neutral neck. Keep your neutral neck. Good. Give me 5 breaths here. Right into your low back, right into your belly. And so the big thing with you is it's not big, huge, massive looking movements. It's little itty bitty things done with breath, right? And you just gotta trust me, right? It's gonna come. Ask your daughter, right? We started with the teeniest, tiniest, littlest movements, and now she can do all kinds of, like her mobility is really good, right? And then when those 5 breaths are complete, keep those feet down, and you're just gonna rock out your pelvis from side to side, just side to side when those 5 breaths are complete. Just like you did before, keeping your feet down, keeping your ribs down, and just moving the lowest part of your back. Good. Just side to side, a couple more times. See if you can keep a neutral neck when you do this. When you move your legs without your nose moving. Now the next time we come to the left, we go to the left, we keep our feet down, we keep our hands on our ribs. Then we imagine that there's wind in the backs of our legs and pushes the backs of our legs towards the left side. Without lifting the feet, without lifting the ribs, neck stays the same. Good. Let's go 5 big belly breaths on this side. And then when those 5 belly breaths are complete, you're going to bring your pelvis back down, knees pointing up towards the side. Beautiful. Bring your knees to touch. See if you can walk your feet a little bit closer to you. One day your ankles are going to be underneath your knees. Knees together. Good. Now keeping your knees together, you're going to heel toe the feet as wide as you can without the knees coming apart. So you heel toe, as wide as you can without the knees coming apart, and then you pigeon toe. You're going to stay there, but I'm going to sit up.
There's something better.
Yeah, I can tell, and it's improved. You've got an imprint, but that's okay, right? And then you're going to bring your fingers, you're going to grab your shoulders, you're going to squeeze your shoulders underneath this bolster. And then this one, you know, big slow circles, right? And this one you do whenever you think about it. And the elbows, that's better too. Look at the elbows you touching. Right? So you
I know, to some degree, the best I could listen. Actually, I can hear perfectly because the fluid has moved from behind the left ear and the right is working now.
big slow circles. Do you swim?
No.
No. And
We're
what?
going to access to that Sanderson pool, that's, which is, or not, that's called Panorama.
Yeah,
It's a good pool.
yeah, it's nice that way.
I should.
And then go the other way. I was just looking through your ears. Backwards, now go backwards.
Oh, my ears, yeah, that's said that you need to put some type of earplugs in or something.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the fluid out, but the fluid isn't really, it's developing my sinuses.
Mm-hmm.
What it turned out when I went to see my doctor in Calgary is he identified a nasal infection,
Mm-hmm.
which is probably what I had last year too, but when it causes fluid to build up behind my eardrum, Michelle, it stays for 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, no, I've had it before from a sinus infection. And then elbows at a shoulder's height, reach with your elbows, push your elbows down if you can. Can you get those arms down without pain? Good. And then you're going to open and close. You're going to open all the way, close all the way. Good. Good, and then elbows coming to the floor and then up and down like a jumping jack with those elbows close to the floor. Good. And so see how they're coming away from the floor? So they, yeah, So that's the secret, right? We don't lift them up, because then it's a different rotation. We want to get all the rotations without changing it. Good. Good, and let those arms come beside you, palms facing up, let the shoulders relax. Good. Now give me big, big breaths here. As you inhale, you want to feel the belly fill, the ribs fill, the chest fill, and then as you empty, the chest is going to empty, the ribs are going to empty, the belly is going to empty. Right, if you can keep the snow cloud, keep the snow cloud. Let's go 10 big slow breaths, just like that, right here. And we're adding something that you did your homework. So using your mind to slow down, deepen, and smooth out your breath. And then from here, we're going to heel, toe, the feet in. So the knees come together, the feet come together. Now, really push your feet onto the floor. Feel the big toe down, baby toe down, right? Knees together, feet together. And then you're going to let the knees open, and then the soles of the feet are going to clap, and the knees are going to come apart, and those bolsters are going to hold your knees up. So the soles of the feet are going to clap.
Oh.
Yep, there you go. All the way, all the way, all the way. There you go. Does that feel okay? So this is new, and you have to have pillows.
Okay.
All right? Ideally not super soft ones, but pretty, these are dense, right?
So my dog's arching a bit. Should I try to keep
I
it
want the
up?
arch. Yeah, if you can arch your back here, the more you can find that neutral pillows, the better. Yours is lapped in an imprint, so it's nice to get the arch. And then just put your hands on your belly, and I want to see that belly moving. So if it becomes too much or it pulls into your knees, you bring the knees together, okay? Hands on the belly. Good. Now inhale, belly lifts up like a balloon. Exhale, belly sinking down. Inhale, belly lifting up like a balloon. Exhale, belly sinking down. Good. Again, listen to your body. If any point feels like too much for your back, or you start to feel your knees, then we're going to come out of the pose. Otherwise, we're just going to hold this and breathe. Big, beautiful breaths. You want to feel like you're pushing the feet gently to one another. So the creeper pose, which is that pose we do with the feet on the floor and the knees wide, is a preparation pose for this pose, right? So we want to push our big toenails to one another, just like we did in the creeper pose. Those toenails are very, very active, which puts a boundary on this pose, so it's not going to be too much. Let's take 10 more big, slow breaths right into our bellies right here.
Michelle, what is the creeper pose again? Is it the one where you're spreading the legs and keeping the knees together?
No, it's the opposite.
Oh,
It's
right.
this one with the soles of the feet on the floor and the knees wide. It's the one we always start with,
Yeah.
right? So it makes you find your feet, right? Because you just want to let your feet be lazy. It makes you find your feet. So I want you to keep your feet here.
Okay.
And let's go right back to that breath. We've probably got about 6 more breaths here. Just focus on your breathing. When those 6 breaths are complete, push into your feet, pull in your belly, and then bring those knees up. Walk those knees and feet so they're a good distance apart. Good. And then you're going to imprint and arch your low back. Stay where you are. Knees knees and feet at hips distance apart, and then just imprinting and arching your low back. Okay?
Yeah, I heard a little bit.
Which did? Coming out of it?
No, doing it.
Okay. So we shouldn't do it if it hurts, right? Did it hurt towards the end or the whole time?
Maybe coming out of it more than anything, but.
Yeah. The coming out of it I'm not so worried about because you're going to feel your groins coming out of it. But if it hurts in, you want to shorten the amount of time you're in it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then stopping with a nice and neutral pelvis. Good. We're going to pick up that right leg. We're going to interlace our fingers right down on top of left over that right shin. Gently pulling that leg in. We're going to lift the elbows, pull them apart. And we're just going to point and flex that right foot. Just gently.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of this.
Good. And then we're going to point that toe. We're going to draw nice big, slow circles with the foot. And then we're going to change direction with the circles. And you're going to keep your leg just like that, and you're going to flex your foot. So keep your leg where it is, you're going to flex your foot. And then you're going to curl just the toes, keeping the foot flexed. So you see how you pointed your foot? Keep your foot flexed. So try and now see if you can curl your toes. There we go. Now keep the toes, just the ankle moves. You're going to point the foot. Right? You're doing this in half wind. I just have my leg extended so you in the video can see it. Right? So now that the foot is pointed, you're not going to move the ankle. You're just going to move the toes to you. Nope, see how you move the ankle? Try not to move the ankle, just the toes. So now just...
Come on.
It's getting harder.
This is too hard to figure out.
Okay. But where's your mind? Get your mind in your foot. That's where I want it. Just the ankle moves. Look at my foot. It's just your eyes, not your neck.
Just the ankle.
Just flex. Toes stay. So just flex. There we go. Now, ankle doesn't move. Just curl the toes. Just curl the toes. There you go. Now, toes don't move. Point the foot by moving the ankle. Just the ankle moves. Now, just the toes move. Flip the toes. You got this. One more set. You're going to flex, but you're only moving the ankle. So just the ankle moves to flex. Flex. Now, don't move the ankle. Just curl the toes. Now, don't move the toes. Keep the toes. Move the ankle to point the foot. Now, don't move the ankle. Move the toes to flip the toes. Right? So that's your next thing.
Don't you listen to the foot up, right?
Here. What's that?
You listen to my feet?
I'm making your feet more stable.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
And what happens is our arches collapse as we get older, and we don't want that. So this is going to keep your arches from collapsing. Good. And then we're going to see if you can take the strap and go right into it. So the strap's right beside you. We're going to take the strap over the foot, and I want you to listen really carefully. I'm going to take my foot away from me in that direction, right? So once I get
So
my
I do
foot...
have to put my hand to get this done.
Yeah, you can. Do what you gotta do. There you go. Now head down. Now really listen careful. Listen careful. Away from you. Not up. Away. Good. And then when it's straight, you're going to bring it up nice and slow. Keep the back bend in your pelvis. So try not to imprint. Walk your hands up the strap. And so we're going to add to this. Okay? So look at that improvement. You are getting better, okay? But don't take it away a little bit. Yeah, nice. And then we're going to start just by towel drying that foot. So we're going to go back and forth with the strap. And I like to go quite fast up and down my arch to heat up that arch, right? So this is all about releasing the fascia. This is like 100% improvement. What are you talking about? You were here. This is 100% better.
Yeah, well, I've been working a lot on
Yeah,
this.
good. Good.
And
And
I've
we're
also-
just starting, right? We've done like, this is our 5th class,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I guess it is, yeah.
Yeah, you just started.
I'm starting to get over.
Yeah, that's good. I want to go firm. That's what I want. Okay? And then come down where the heel meets the arch. Pull down. Good. And then you're going to flex and point right on that heel arch point. So that's an attachment point of the fascia. So this is a great way to get a nice sort of cheat release. It's fast. Good.
Well, I remember when I was watching that video again,
Yeah.
I did that in that last session
Yeah.
for Scotland.
Yeah,
And
and
I
then
went,
flex.
oh God, that hurt. And
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt anymore.
I know. Now flex. Don't hold no wrinkles. Good. Now loosen your grip a little bit, and we're going to see if we can internally and externally rotate. So not the ankle. Look at me.
Oh.
Leg bone. Internal rotation, external
Oh, I
rotation.
see.
Internal and external. So it's like the whole leg is a screw screwdriver, and you're keeping the ankle stable. Now, did we do this in the
That is
last
really
video?
good. Yes, you did, but I
Okay.
didn't get it.
Yeah, it's all good.
Doing this the whole time.
Yeah, and it's okay, but you know what? It's better than not doing it, and now you're gonna do it better. Now, externally rotate to hold, so the whole knee is pointing out, the whole foot is pointing
Yeah,
out.
this is awesome.
Yeah, you're gonna pull down, you're gonna lift it, it's also really good for your back.
Yeah,
Now, big belly breaths here. It's also prep for the number 4 pose not being painful, right? See if you can find a little more external rotation creeping in. There you go, hold it. I don't want pain, but it shouldn't be easy. Good. And again, if you want more time, hold it. We're gonna take 10 big breaths here. When those 10 breaths are complete, you're gonna go to internal rotation and hold. Right, and so I don't want you to move the foot, go back to a stable ankle.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so yeah, and lift this toe mound up. That right toe mound is like this, so lift it up. There you go. Now think of this whole leg bone
Oh,
internally
God.
rotating. Yeah. Now I want
Self-adjustment.
yeah, exactly. I'll send you the chiro bill later.
You've done that a couple times, yeah. I know you for a couple.
Nice neutral neck, good.
It's really good.
And this is where it's like, and again, when it's the right time, it'll happen. There's a time in your life that you can come once a week, once every 2 weeks, or twice a week while you're here, and then go away. You know what I mean? Because it's the little details that are so good. And then back to neutral rotation, and then we're just gonna draw zeros with this heel. You okay?
Yeah.
You need a break? Tell me what's going on.
Well, it's the
Nothing?
lower
Oh,
right nerve.
Okay, so then take it away a little bit, and then we're gonna do zeros with the heel. So as soon as you take it away, does it soften that? Or is
Helps
it-
that, yeah.
Yeah. So there's no pain there anymore?
Yeah, that usually is
Good.
it.
And so it's just holding less, right? And then circles the other way, or too much hardening?
No, well, Lynn is, see how we are, but I've taken to getting a few tools to, it's like you said, use it or lose it, so there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with bending and bending
Yeah.
properly and lifting properly, and I'm working on all that. But I did get some tools for that repetitive bending, because there's so
Yeah,
much of it.
Yeah, smart.
So that's helping, and that way I can help that, because frankly, I haven't used them yet. So she's done I'm about 12 hours behind her right now.
Stop with that, push in your foot, good, and then just take that right leg over to the left side just a little bit. Nice, and then just hold there. And just big, big breaths. Just focusing on your body, focusing on your breath. Let's go 10 more big breaths right into your belly. And when those 10 breaths are complete, you bring that leg back to its own side. We're going to walk that left foot away from us just a little bit. We're going to externally rotate. So left foot, move it away just a little bit. Left foot, move it away from your butt. Yeah, there you go, it's okay. Externally rotate, remove the strap, bend the knee, hook the knee and the ankle. There you go. Is that painful?
Well, sure hurts, it hurts right here.
Yeah, now can you move that left foot away just a
This is
little bit?
really where my vertebrae is. It hurts.
Outer hip,
Oh, good.
yeah. So move this foot away and just see how that, yeah,
It still hurts.
still
It hurts
hurts.
like probably worse.
Really? Bring the knee towards me. Not this
Oh.
knee, yeah, that knee. Better?
That
Okay.
helps,
Yeah,
A little bit.
yeah,
It's still, no, when I move it towards you, then it hurts in the vertebrae
yeah.
area. So it hurts no matter how I do it, and that's why I'm quick. shouldn't
just
do
give
it
a minute.
because it hurts, right?
Yeah, you shouldn't, for sure. And then we're just gonna go back to side, but keeping those feet on the floor, hands on the ribs.
And that's all kind of new, because I don't remember it hurting when I first came to see you.
Well, we couldn't do it when you first started, right? Like there was no doing it, and then we could do it by the end, right?
Right.
Just life, right? And then stop with those knees centered. We're gonna bring that left leg up. We're gonna interlace our fingers, left hand on top of right, pull it in, lift the elbows, pull it apart, and then just point and flex that left leg. And then we're gonna point that foot and then draw nice big slow circles. Gives me direction, then I know what we have to do, which is good, right?
To get that
So,
leg loosened up.
yeah, well, and just stronger so that it's not in pain. And then change direction with the circles. And then flex that foot, sole the foot flat, so we flex it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now don't move your ankle, just curl your toes. Good. Now don't move your toes, keep them curled. Point your foot by moving the ankle. Good. Now don't move the ankle, just flip the toes. Good. Now flex your foot, just moving the ankle. So flex. Good. Then just curl the toes. Ankle doesn't move. Good. Now point your foot, just moving the ankle. Good, now flip just the toes without moving your ankle. Good, now flex. Just moving the ankle. Flex. Pull the toes.
Oh, flex.
Yeah, there we go. And then one more time. Curl. Curl the toes. Point the foot, moving the ankle. And then flip the toes. Good. Just give me a couple breaths here. And then you're going to take your strap, here's yours, here's mine, over your foot, and then you straighten out, not up. So straighten straight out, and then bring it up. Just nice and slow, good. Try and keep your back bend. And then we walk the hands up the strap, and we start by heating up the arch of the foot. And then you pull down where the heel meets the arch, and you're going to point and flex. And then you're going to find a wrinkle-free ankle. And remember, tapping like a screwdriver inside the hip, so leg bone externally rotates, leg bone internally rotates. Whole leg externally rotates, whole leg internally rotates. And if it's hard to rotate it, you just move the leg away from you. If it's too much, you just move the leg away from you. It really depends on what you did, right? If you go for a high, it's going to be tighter than if you didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, so now we're going back to ankles. So take the leg away from you and go whole leg, internally rotating, externally rotating. Good, there you go, that's better. And then externally rotate the whole leg to hold. And then just breathe in there. And just nice big belly breaths. then go back to neutral rotation. Just see if you can draw zeros with the heel, just little circles. And another way, just loosening that up, trying to keep your pelvis still if you can. And then stopping with the circles, you're going to pull down on the strap, you're going to lift up with your foot, and you're going to take that left leg over your right leg, just a little bit. Remember, if it's a lot, you move the leg away from you. Good. I'm just breathing here. Keep the left side of the pelvis down on the floor. Big, beautiful breaths. And letting that left leg come over its own side, release the strap, and the knee, bring that foot down. And then just a little bit of imprinting and arching here to loosen up the back. And then just do a little rocking from side to side. So now the thing with the core is that we want to not imprint. So like a little bit of knees to one side, knees to the other side to rock out the pelvis just a little bit. That little mini twist we're doing, keeping those feet on the floor. It's on the floor. And then arriving with your knees up. So I want you to put your fingers kind of into your hip flexors, right? So maybe the tips of your middle fingers would be kind of pubic bone, and you can feel that the pinky fingers in your hip flexors. And I want you to imprint your low back. You feel how there's no crease in the hip flexors. You're folding in your back, not your hip flexors. Feel that?
I misunderstand.
So I don't think so. So you imprint and arch a couple times with your fingers and your hip flexors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So imprint and arch with your fingers in your hip flexors. Good. So your hip flexors, if you slide your hand onto your quad, they're right here.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
so where your pelvis meets your quad. So take your fingers, slide it down your quads to where there's like a crease where your quad meets your pelvis, right there, okay? So now imprint your low back and arch your low back. So when you imprint, you're imprinting right now. You feel how there's no crease? And then when you arch your low back, you feel there's a crease, right? You feel there's a line there, right? So it goes from like a to a banana,
Okay.
like a bowl
Yeah.
or a crease.
Gotcha.
Right? There's a bowl and there's a crease. You love the bowl. The bowl is very comfortable for you, right? You're folding your back, not your hip flexors.
Yeah,
Your hips aren't
exactly.
being hips, your back's being hip, right? So any core you do, if you're in a bowl, we're just sending our shit in the same direction, right? We want to go the other direction, right? We're going
So, like,
back end.
oh, really?
Yeah, so find a little crease. Right, so find that little bit of a lumbar curve, and it's gonna be incredibly difficult for you, because you've been going the same direction for so long, it's really hard to change directions, but you're not going in a good direction. So you literally have to change. So it's gonna be hard, which is why doing core on your knees is ridiculous.
Well,
because
frankly,
you're
as long as it
zero
doesn't
awareness.
hurt, I guess I'm not concerned about it. It's just that it's so weird because I'm speaking frank, I've been honest, that from what I was told and reading, and even talking to the doctor about it, the back end is what pinches the nerve and then ends up causing more damage. So typically for that condition, it's not recommended. For instance,
But
what I was
this is
doing
the back
with this.
end, this isn't the back end. This
Right.
is neutral.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is neutral. This is like a natural lumbar curve, right? You're so locked in an imprint,
Okay.
right? And so nothing's worked, right? So you gotta give me a shot.
Yeah,
Right.
that's fine. I
Yeah.
will do anything.
Yeah, just let's try it, okay? So put your fingers in your hip flexors and you,
Gotcha.
yeah, you feel how there's a crease there. and you feel how there's a little bit of curve. It feels like a big back bend for you because it's foreign, correct?
Right.
Okay, so now you're gonna lift your right leg without imprinting your low back. Good. And then front imprint your low back, and then see if you can find that little bit of a back bend. Little tiny arch. So can you?
I got it.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah, good, you have got it, yeah. So now, see if you can bring your knee over your hip, without losing it, good. Easy or hard?
not bad.
Okay, good. So then without this leg moving forward or back, right? So your knee's gonna stay exactly where it is, so the quad's over the hip flexor. I want you to bring your heel to your butt, right? And then I want you to lift your ankle to your knee without your quad moving, good. You're gonna bring your heel to your butt, and you're gonna lift your ankle, right? You're just up and down without the quad moving.
Okay.
Good. You just go up and down. Good. Keeping that back bend. Nice. And maybe you can go a little higher. Maybe you can't. Right?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, there you go. But no quad moving, no imprinting. And then lift that leg just as high as you can without the quad moving away. Now breathe. See, this is moved away a little bit.
Oh, I see.
There you go. No worries, but what you want to think of is the hamstring pushing you forwards with this quad stays straight up and down with the hip flexor, and you got a little bit of a back bend, and just belly breaths here. Good. We need 5 more breaths. When those 5 breaths are complete, you're going to bend your knee, you're going to bring your foot onto the floor. Good. And then you're going to go back to just a little bit of imprinting and arching, just loosen that up. Right? Feet at hips distance apart, so the knees are right over the ankles. Right? So right now you're kind of like this. Yeah, so get your feet at hips distance apart, imprint and arch. Good. Now find that little bit of back bend so that you're folding in your hip flexor. Right? And just memorize that. Really pay attention to that lumbar curve, keep it, and just take that left knee right over the left hip. So you're bringing it a little closer, so the knee's right over the hip. Good. Now don't let this knee quad move away. Keep the back bend, just a little movement up and down, just a little bit, without your quad moving to you or away from you, without imprinting your low back.
Without imprinting.
Without imprinting.
In other words, laying a flat back.
So a flat back is an imprinted back, right? So you want a lumbar curve.
Right, so I'm kind of like this. You know, like there would be a curve here.
Yeah.
It's like a cat. No, wait, whatever it is.
It is, but it's not, right? So it's actually.
When you say imprint, you mean like this. This is the.
That's imprinted. Yeah.
This is the imprint.
Yeah. And then that's neutral. You can't arch it. Like it's so locked on you that it doesn't even go to neutral, if I'm being honest, right? So if you look at me, right, see this is an imprint,
Right.
this is an arch, right?
Okay.
This is neutral, right?
Does
Right
it
now,
make sense?
you're very locked imprinted because you sat for so long, right? And your hip flexors are just like locked long, right? They're locked open, right?
Okay.
So neutral, you're supposed to have a lumbar curve. Right? If you're constantly in an imprint, a nerve gets caught, there's no flossing. It's just stuck. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, and your back is just being a constant hip flexor. Right? So in order for your hip flexors to become hip flexors and get that back to release, right? You hold the neutral, or as close to neutral as you can, and you bring that knee over. And then you don't let the low back push into the floor. And you just go up and down here, just a little bit. Start small, because this is a completely different pelvis than you're used to, right? So just go up and down just a little bit, and gradually that movement can grow, but not if this quad is moving away from you. You have to keep the knee over the hip. And you can feel that the hip flexor is getting a bit stronger, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But staying active, good. Just up and down, quad not moving away.
Just shaking it.
Right, exactly, no change in the low back. And then you're going to straighten that left leg as much as you can without the quad moving away. Yeah, there you go. And just hold, and just breathe. Right? Keep that little back bend. Big, beautiful breaths. And the shaking's fine. Yeah, so bend, and just do a little less. here. So this is called a shin lift. The only thing that moves is the shin. The pelvis doesn't move,
Okay.
right? The quad doesn't move, just the shin moves,
Okay.
right? And then we bend the shin and then bring it down. And then just do whatever you want with the pelvis. We're going to do one more core exercise. Just rock your pelvis, imprint and arch. Do whatever you need to do. Now, are you doing your 10-minute rests every practice?
Yeah, I have to say I am. It's,
Yeah.
it depends on the day, but
Yeah.
for the most part I am.
And you're breathing deeply.
And I'm
into
breathing.
it. Good. Put it on
Breathing
your
right
arm.
through the exercises.
Good. Good.
So I'm doing all of that and it helps a lot. Like if
It's
I have more
important.
time, I can get a
Yeah.
good practice and
Yeah.
I get up and feel great.
Yeah.
When I haven't enough time, I rush it
Yeah.
and I feel like shit. You know?
Yeah, I know. You gotta
It's
breathe, you gotta
useless.
rest. I know. You gotta have enough space that you can rest, right? So I schedule it. You're retired. Same time every day. Just give yourself an hour. That's it. 5
I
days
should
a
be
week,
doing it in
not
the
7.
morning, but I tend to eat my back for the first hour just to loosen things up.
Yeah, like in a hot sauna or something.
No, I put a eating pad on.
Nice. And then knees and feet pointing straight up. Now again, imprint and arch, find that little bit of a back bend, which is actually a neutral pelvis, or almost a neutral pelvis for you.
Yeah.
So you feel your hip flexors, and you feel that there's a fold there, okay? Now push into your left foot, bring your right knee over your right hip
So I'm
flexor.
gonna ask you, I'm sorry to ask you this, but
That's
can you
okay.
tell me if this is a fold you're talking about right here?
Yeah, it's better. It's not perfect. The fold is here, right? So yeah, so if you run your fingers down, right? See, now imprint your pelvis. You see it, yeah? See how that folds and then unfolds. Imprint your pelvis, right? You see how there's a crease there? That's your front groin,
Okay.
which
yeah.
attaches to your midgroin, which attaches to your back groin. Those are tight spots for you, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm feeling the wrong spot. That's
You
why I
are,
was just
right?
saying where-
yeah, so if you follow your hand down, right, where the quad meets, right? So it's either imprinted or there's a back bend and there's like a crease there. Okay? So try and keep the crease, keep your feet at hips distance apart. Good. So a little bit of a back bend. Good. You're gonna take your right knee over your right hip. Right? Then you're gonna lift your right ankle so it's as high as your knee. Now if this is too high, bring your ankle down.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So now, without changing your back, right? You're gonna bring your right heel down without bending or straightening your leg, and you're gonna inhale to bring it up. You're gonna exhale to bring it down without imprinting your back, and you're gonna inhale to bring it up. So you're doing your absolute best not to move the pelvis. So don't straighten your leg. You see how you're straightening your leg? Keep your knee bent, heel comes down, there's no straightening your leg. And then bring it up, and then take it down. Good. Bring it up without.
Totally stationary leg, basically.
Exactly. There's no movement in your leg, just the hip flexor. Right? So we want to fold our hips.
Good strength.
Yeah. Well, this is the core that I
This
keep
is,
find.
I
Yeah.
love it. Thank you.
And then foot comes down. Good. And then take a breath, breathe into your belly.
I'm weak.
You're not weak, you just have not been taught the right thing. Imprint and arch, right? Keep your fingers in your hip flexors because I want you to start to figure this out. And this is hard stuff. You're not going to get it in one day, but you've got a video, right? So
Yeah,
you
for
imprint and
sure.
arch, right? So feel the hip flexor, right? Which is where the quad meets the pelvis. Slide your fingers down. It's where you should fold if you're moving your pelvis into a neutral, which feels like a back bend for you. Now keep the little back bend, keep your fingers in your hip flexors, try not to twist the pelvis. Take your left knee over your left hip. And then lift your ankle so it's as high as your knee. Now if you're having a bad back day, you don't do this at a 90, you do it at a 45, right? So the more bent the knee is, the easier it is on the back. You're good today, so you're gonna do it at a 90, but remember we wanna get the knee
Oh,
over
right.
right? Knee over hip, hip flexor. Good. So keep the 90, exhale to bring the heel down without straightening the leg, right? No change in the back, inhale to bring it up. Good. Exhale to bring it down, inhale to bring it up. Good. Nice, nice, nice. You're doing your absolute best not to push your low back into the floor. I know, and that's the problem. But you know what, you just have to start with
Do I need
thinking
to
about it.
curl a little bit?
You just have to get stronger, and this will help you get stronger. One wasn't built in a day. Just do very little control muscle in your low back. So we can't just imagine, like we have to imagine it before we actually get it to go.
Well,
Right?
this will definitely strengthen right through here.
And your back once you get it. And then bring that foot down.
But I think what's going on is Mila walking,
Mm-hmm.
and she's, the lady was shouting about her, I'm having issues with
And then just rock it.
just a normal stride.
Yeah.
And I don't understand any of it. I'm so left field on this.
And then stop and center, just imprint and arch a little bit. Good. And then bring one knee up, bring the other knee up, pull those legs in. One at a time. So both together, standing the back, just one and then the other. Right? So now bring the other up, right? And then you go down one at a time. Give me 5 breaths here. And then when those 5 breaths are complete, one at a time, legs come down. One at a time. One leg comes down. Yeah, other leg comes down. One leg straightens, other leg straightens, arms out beside you. We're going a little over time because you're a little late starting. So you're going to be still, you're not going to talk, right? You're going to relax. And I'm going to get ready for my next class just so I'm not in such a rush. And then you just relax. There you go. You're going to do your absolute best not to move. When you get up, I'm going to show you my pelvis quickly, but I do have another class. We've got to be mindful of that. Be still, no talking, just breathing.